If someone asked me to describe myself, I'd say I'm a happy-go-lucky bloke that looks on the bright side of life. But something happened to me last year that might make you question that. You see, my wonderful wife Emily was diagnosed with breast cancer. It felt like the rug was pulled from beneath me. Um, there were just no warning signs. She just went for a mammogram. It was her first one. And we even laughed about it when the letter came through, that it was a sign of her getting old. But when we heard the news, it was a total shock. I had to remain positive for her and for me, but I just wanted to be me being me. Um, Having to keep a brave face each and every day took its toll. Emily had to take time off work to attend hospital appointments and then starting the chemo. Um, then the financial pressure started to mount. And that wasn't something that I wanted to think about at that moment in time. Um, I just couldn't concentrate at work. My performance started to suffer um, due to attending hospital appointments and the sleepless nights. Um, I was beginning to bottle everything up. I wasn't talking to people at work. I started to withdraw, and I just didn't have the patience to entertain small talk. Um, I started to withdraw from people. I was suffering from depression. I didn't think it could affect a person like me, but it did. It can happen to anyone. Luckily for me, my manager, Paul, noticed that I was struggling and he arranged a meeting with me. Um, and he noticed I was quiet and not joining in with conversations with others, which is unusual for me. My manager said he didn't want to be rude, but he noticed I had dark circles around my eyes and asked if I wanted to share anything. And that kind of took me back quite a bit because I thought I was doing a pretty good job in hiding how I was feeling, but apparently not. He then asked me, do I want to share anything? And that kind of took me back quite a bit because I thought I was doing a good job in hiding it, but apparently not. But that's when the embarrassment hit, the shame. If I tell him that, if I admit that I'm struggling, that would be a sign of weakness. I couldn't tell him of all people. So my manager assured me that he just wanted to be able to help me and asked if I wanted to share anything with him. And to be quite honest, I felt like I could do with talking to someone. So um, I told him. I opened up. I told him about the the, the diagnosis, the hospital appointments, the chemo, and it just kept coming. And I couldn't stop. It was like the doors had opened and I couldn't close them. And I didn't feel I didn't feel like it was a sign of embarrassment or weakness or shame. I felt like a whole load had been lifted off my shoulders, and like I'd been carrying this load for far too long. And I was just pleased that I was able to just get it off my chest. Yeah, my manager was really understanding, and he recommended the employee assistance program that they offered short-term counseling on a completely confidential basis. He said that he had recommended it to his previous colleagues and it had helped, so I thought I'd give it a go, and it did. Um, it was good to speak to someone who is completely independent. My boss offered some practical support. He managed to move my hours around so I could be with Emily at the hospital, and also enabled me to take some unpaid leave. And that was really helpful. My manager was keen to check in with me. Um, we'd have a cuppa once a week to see what appointments were coming up. And he was very supportive. He would take my emotions seriously. Emily and I started to talk about things a bit more. And I told her that I was getting professional help. And she was so relieved to hear it. Um, and she said she'd noticed a change in me too. Since the counseling, um, I could tell her how I feel. It's like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders. And even though Emily was going through chemo, she has responded well to the treatment. And our marriage is stronger because of it. I'm happy to say Emily is now in remission and is taking it easy. I'm so grateful that my manager noticed that I was struggling and how he encouraged me to open up. I didn't realize just how good it could be to talk to someone. So if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be right now. So thanks to my manager. And I'm still Paul, I'm still me, just a better version of me.